All right, so we're going to try out WeVideo here. So you should be done with your Internet Scavenger Hunt research and planning. You should have all of your questions figured out, all the websites that you're using. So if you have all 15 questions figured out, you're going to move on to the next step. And that's going to be transferring all that information into Microsoft Word so you can make an actual scavenger hunt that looks similar to what I have here. You can see I've got my title and the topic here, who it's by, my instructions, and then all my questions here. And I've done some custom bullets. I have links to the websites, and we have 3 different ways that we're making the links: as actual words inside of the question. The pictures are links, and then some of them you're actually going to put a phrase after the question that says click here to find out, or something to that effect. So this is an example of a finished one. So you're going to open up the actual directions themselves, and then I'm going to go to the side here, and then we want to open up Microsoft Word. And you want to choose the single spaced blank, the second option right here. Create that. And then I'm just going to go, we don't need that, right? So I'm going to make this side by side so I can then read my directions as we go. So we need to save this as last name scavenger hunt. So I'm going to come here to File, go down to where it says Save As, Browse, and look for the folder that I'm going to save it in. So I find the folder I made for this class. And I resorted, so I need to go back to alphabetical order. And then the file name is just going to be your last name and then scavenger hunt. And save that. Now the next thing is you're going to change your page margins to narrow. That's one of the things that we've done in a previous assignment. That's just on the page layout tab here. Come up here to where it says margins and choose narrow. Easy, easy. Now you're going to choose your page color background. That's under the design tab. If you remember, go to the design tab. And then we have our page color right here. You can choose a solid color, or you can come into the fill effects and choose the 2 colors of the presets. But you can also, for this, if you want to, put in a picture. Now my topic is Doctor Who. He's a character that travels through time and space. So I'm actually going to select a picture, maybe look for a galaxy or a star field. And then I find one that I like. Now you have to be careful when you choose a background image. You want to make sure it's not too busy or it has a bunch of light and dark areas, because you want to have your text in a very high contrast color so you can read it. So I'm going to choose this one right here, because that way I can put my text on there in a nice bright color against that dark background. And then I hit Insert and then click OK. And that one took up my whole page. Every once in a while, you might choose a picture that's not big enough to cover the whole page, and it's going to tile. So you're going to see the picture repeat itself. If that's the case, you're just going to have to look and find a different picture. Now that I've got my background set, I'm going to insert the title as word art. So again, we come here to where it says Insert, and then we're going to find the word art button. My screen's a little smaller, so it's in the text group right here. It's this little blue A tilted on the side. If my screen were full, it would be the big blue A that says word art. And it doesn't matter the color right now, because I can change that. So I'm just going to choose this top one here. And then I'm going to type in my title of my scavenger hunt, Doctor Who. And then I'm going to go back and look at the rest of the directions. So now that we've got the word art in here, we're going to format it using the Drawing Tools tab and kind of jazz it up. And one of the new things is, you know where that wrapping text button is, or that layout button is, and normally we would choose through so we could drag the stuff around easily, but this is telling you to change it to top bottom. So this is the button right here I'm talking about, and you're going to change it from this in front of text to top bottom right there. Now that you've done that, I'm going to come back over here. Let me maximize it. And I need to center this. So as I drag this around, you can see these little green lines pop up that says that's the center of the page, and then I want it at the top of the page. But now I can come in here and I can select my text, come to the Drawing Tools tab and find the Word Art Styles group. And I can change, maybe I want to change the fill color to a brighter yellow, or maybe I don't want a fill color at all, and I can see my background through the letters, the inside of that. It has an outline, that's an orange outline, but it's kind of thin. So I'm going to come here to Outline and find Weight and actually make it a little bit thicker. And I can even put a little text effect on it. Maybe come here and put an outer glow. I can then also, with my text selected, come back here to the Home tab and choose a different style font, and also choose a different size, make it bigger. If I choose 78, that's as big as it is, but maybe I don't want it quite that size. But if you see it only says 48 and 72, well, I can come up in here and type my own number if I need to. So that's my text in a word art box. I can also come back here to the Drawing Tools tab, and don't forget, when it's a word art, we also have this 3D option here where we can change stuff around, and we also have the transform where it gives it a shape. So So you can kind of look for a cool shape to give it as well. I'm going to hit the save button, and then we'll pick it up from there. So we've got our word art in. Now let's go look at our directions and see what our next item is. So you need to make sure, if I didn't mention this before, that your word art, that you change the text wrapping or the layout to top bottom, which we did. And now we're going to click below it and add your name. And it's going to be by and then your name. So I need to click below. And it's a little hard to see down here because my text is black. So I'm going to come up here and change my text to white. And I'm also going to make the font just a little bit bigger at this point. So now I should be able to do by and then my name. If we look at the rest of the directions for there, it says center align your name, the by your name line. And then we can also put a text effect on it. So I'm just going to click on that, come here and center it. And then I can select it. And if I want to change the color of it to match my Doctor Who, I can make it yellow. I can change the font style and make it this right here. And I can also make it a little bit bigger if I want. So maybe I'm going to make it 26. And remember, there's this little floating font group bar, but it's also back here in the home tab. You can do the same things. So now I can come back here and I'm going to enter 2 times, align my text back to left. So I click after my name, hit the enter button twice, and then put it back to left align or align left. And then this is where we need some instructions, just basically telling people what this is and how they're going to find the answers to the questions that you're asking. Size 26 is still a little bit big, so I'm going to dial that back to size 20 for the instructions. So I do instructions or directions, and then I'm going to type that in, click on the links to find the answers to the questions. Now remember, I'm going to show you in a little bit what your link options are. So some of your links are going to be pictures and some of them are going to be words. So you're probably going to want to mention that in your directions or your instructions. Remember, some of the links will be words and some will be pictures. And we hit the enter button twice as the directions say over here. Then we're going to start copying and pasting our questions in from our planning and research document. We're not putting the numbers down. So if I come over here to my planning and research document, I find question number 1, and I'm going to copy that. I can do right click copy or do the Control C on the keyboard if you're having trouble with the right click. And then I come over here and I just paste it in. Now I made a really dark background, so it's really difficult to see. So I'm going to go change my page color real quick just for right now, and then I'll put it back to that star field later. So I'm going to do that for every one of my questions. Find question number 2, right click on it, copy it, and then paste it in. Now you don't necessarily want to see me do that a bunch of times, so I'm just going to do a real quick copy that I've got on another screen and get all my questions in there. So here are all my questions. It's going to take you a little bit longer because you have to go over and get them out of there. So now that we've got all of our questions in, now we're going to start creating links. So here are your 3 options to create your links. You're going to use pictures as links. You're also going to use a phrase like the one that says something like click here for the answer, or check out this website for the answer. Now I'm going to change that you don't have to have that below your question. So if you see over here after question number 1, I have my phrase already in there. It can be right after the question. And then the other style you're going to use is a word somewhere within the question itself will be the link. We'll do the picture one first because that's kind of new. We've done these other types of links before where you're just making a word into a link in previous assignments. So who was the actor who played the 10th Doctor? I want that to be a picture. So I'm going to click right after it. I'm going to hit the space bar, give my little space. Then I come up here to the insert button and I go to online pictures, and I'm just going to do a search right here and do 10th Doctor. And it should come up with pictures of the actor who played the 10th Doctor. Got quite a few there. And find one that I like. I'm going to just click on that one and do insert. Now it's going to make it really big. So I'm going to resize it from the corner to make it a little bit smaller. And if I go look at the directions carefully, it's also telling me here that I need to format the picture and change that text wrapping or that layout option to top bottom, just like I did for the word art. And again, that's that little button right here that you find. We're not doing through at this point, we're just doing top bottom. And then the directions tell me that the picture needs to be directly below the question. So I need to move them directly below the question right there. Now that it's there, I'm going to make it into a hyperlink. So I need to come back here to my Internet Scavenger Hunt research and planning document, find that question, which is my question 3, and then copy that internet address right there. So select it, right click on it, and I'm going to do copy. Control C again, also keyboard shortcut works. Now here's an easy way to do this. Instead of going up to, you can still go up to insert and find the links group and find the hyperlink button there. But you can also just simply use your right mouse button, right click, and go down to where it says hyperlink. And then here's the little dialog box that pops up. And then right in the address, we're just going to paste in and then click OK. And now my picture is a link. So when I point at it, I get the link, and then it tells me to do control click to follow that link. So if I hold the control button down on my keyboard and click on that picture, it should take me to the website. You always want to check your links to make sure it's going to take you to the website. The picture is kind of boring too. So I'm going to maximize my Windows screen. I'm going to click back on the picture. So you're going to want to come here probably and kind of jazz it up a little bit using some of the picture styles here, or you can just do a border yourself here. And then the picture border weight actually makes the line a little bit thicker. And then you have your own picture effects to choose from. Maybe you do want to put a little glow on him, on the picture itself, just so it stands out a little bit. Now, if you notice when I did that, it did move my picture above my question. So now I need to make sure it goes back down below my question. So the pictures that are the links need to be directly below the question that they link for. Then the other two styles of links, one is going to be the word or the phrase. That's the next one down. So that's going to be my question number 1. The click here for the answer is going to become my link. So I come back here, I find question 1, I find the URL for the website that's going to have the answer for me, and I copy it. And then I come here and I can do the same thing. After I have it selected, I can just do right click, hyperlink, and then come up here and paste in and click OK. Now again, I want to check, so I'm going to point at it, control click, and see if the link worked, and it did. Then the third kind is making a word or a phrase within the question, the link itself. So for number 2, I'm going to make the word TARDIS the link. So I select TARDIS, come back here, find my question 2, select it, the URL, copy it, come back over here, TARDIS is selected, so I'm just going to right click on it and do hyperlink and then paste it in, then click OK. And again, I'm going to check it. So I do control click. And this website does take a little bit longer, but it should work. And there it comes up right there for me. Always check your links after you make them to make sure that they're working. That's part of the grading rubric if you look at that. So that's how you make your links. Now, we've done some customized bullets in a couple previous assignments. This is just a reminder how to do that. Now, before I do that, though, I am going to come over here and I'm going to change my font for all of my questions. So I'm going to select all of my questions, and I want it to match so my other font. So I'm going to go back to here, and I do want it to be yellow, so I'm going to make it yellow. And then I want to make a bulleted list, so I just click on the bullet button right there. Now, this just does the boring yellow dots. It's the same color as the font. To change that, I'm going to select my whole list again. Then I come here to remember this little button right here next to the bulleted list button. Now I have some things already in there that I've defined as a new bullet, but if you don't have anything yet, you're going to come down here to where it says define new bullet. And then this is where, again, you can choose a symbol, but you can also now use a picture if you want. So that's one of the things that I did. So if I do Doctor Who, let's see what comes up. So some of these probably wouldn't be good bullets, but that one might be a good bullet right there. It looks like the TARDIS, but it also has the D and the W. So I'm going to click on that to select it, click Insert. And then there they are, click OK. And now, but it's really teeny tiny. It's very difficult to see. So I want to make just the bullets bigger. To do that, I just click on this top bullet, and when I do that, it actually selects all of the bullets. A little difficult to see probably on the screen because it's a gray color and my background's kind of gray. Let's change my background so we can kind of maybe, there we go, a little easier to see. So again, if I just select that top bullet, it selects them all. I'm going to come back here to the Home tab, and I'm just going to change the size of the bullets. Let's choose a slightly bigger size. So yep, now they're a little bit easier to see. Still not the best, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to change them again and choose one of the other ones that I selected. You can see I did a baseball at one point, just to play around with. I also have a fez. Now, if you look at this one, it's got a square as the background, a white square. That means the background is not transparent. So you might want to change it around. It's not a requirement. It does not have to have a transparent background. But some of the other ones I found to use do have that transparent background, so you don't get that white square around it. Now, when I did that, you notice my picture kind of shifted a little bit, so I need to drag him down once again. So that's how you can create some custom bullets. You probably will go on to a second page. Oh, and I missed some of my questions down there, so I'm going to select those and come and add them to it as well. And I need to change those to the size so they all match. I did 36. So there are my custom bullets. And so I would continue on and go and do the rest of the background again and do the rest of my links and get everything all squared away. And there'll be a separate video that will show you how to create an answer key. You can't really create the answer key until you're all done with everything right here. So I'm going to hit the save button. And I'm going to go back to design and get my page color. Put my star pattern back on the back. And it was one that I had downloaded. And I might choose a different one this time. There we go. Here's one extra little thing that's not required, but if you notice now, it's hard to see my links. If you want to change your link colors, this is just a quick little tip that it's not required, but it's in the design tab. And you come right here to where it says colors. Then you go all the way down to custom colors at the bottom. And then you have your hyperlink. So I'm going to change that to kind of an orange color. I don't want it to be the same yellow as my text. And then the followed links, I'm going to make it the same. So they'll always be that sort of orangey yellow color. And then that changed them for them right there. And it's easier to see as well. So again, once you've got all of your questions done, you're going to come in and start putting your title in, your name, instructions, and then start putting the questions in and start creating the links, the 3 different kinds. The click here for answer type phrase after the question, a word with or a phrase within the question itself, and also the pictures. The last thing, just as a little side note as well, if you want to add some picture as decoration, you can do that. So you can come back in here. I have some pictures downloaded. Here's my one TARDIS. This is really big, so I'm going to resize it, but I'm just going to use this as decoration. So I'm going to change the layout to through, so I can drag it up here to the top, and I want to put it right up here next to my Doctor Who. You can play with some of these other layout options for the pictures that you use as decoration. I might want to do behind the text, which means I can make it bigger, but now he kind of floats behind my Doctor Who, and I can angle him just a little bit. So you can also use pictures as decorations, and those can have any layout option that works within the page itself. These pictures down here that are the links always have to be that top bottom layout option, and they need to be directly below the picture that they're the link for. Okay, there you go. Time to get started.